How to talk about race and how to identify has been a lifelong conversation for Danielle Ayow. Her family was part of the Chinese migration to the Caribbean, and she has grappled with how she fits into these two cultures growing up in Canada. Danielle is joining us now this morning. Good to have you on the show.
Thanks, Lindsey, for having me.
Okay, so you've written and directed a deeply personal documentary. It's called But You're Not Black. Tell us what pushed you to do that.
You know what? It was years of growing up and being told that I was the wrong color, that I didn't look mixed enough, and just a lot of, slight racisms. And it started off as a bit of a joke where I was fielding so many questions that I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna write a documentary and show people when they ever had questions. And that kind of joke kind of evolved into an actual documentary.
You've done a lot of interviews about your film, and I understand you're frequently asked this question. Why is it important for you to identify as Trinidadian? What kind of feelings has that brought up for you?
You know what? The more and more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? This is a ridiculous question to ask me. Obviously, it's not a malicious question, but why is it important for anybody to identify as anything then? Because, I have tons of friends from, Germany or Italy who are first generation, and they're very proud to say that they're Italian or that they're German. But for some reason, I am not entitled to say that I'm Trinidadian, and I couldn't understand that. So getting that question, there was a little bit of a bias already in there. So
It's so interesting, that idea of permission to identify that you explore, like who gets to make that call. What have you learned in your journey and with talking to people as well?
I learned that there was just so many factors involved, and the different countries that you lived in, your different age groups, your different demographics, everything changed what you factored in to how you decided to identify. And nobody's right or wrong. Like there's no master playbook for this. So it's kind of like everybody's kind of making it up as they go and kind of putting their own spin on their identity, and they're expecting others to kind of follow suit.
With doing this documentary, what was the biggest surprise for you? What did you learn?
Oh gosh, the biggest surprise? I think there was just so many. I think I went out and I expected for everybody to have the same kind of thought about how to identify. It's like what your parents taught you, and it just wasn't. Like we encountered so many different other factors that people had in play.
For
I think
those,
that was the
that was
biggest.
the biggest takeaway. For speaking of takeaway, when somebody is going to view your film, or if they already have, what do you hope their takeaway is?
I hope they take away a little bit more empathy, and also they take away they start to think and examine their own assumptions that they have deeply embedded. And I think we don't realize this when we ask people these questions, such as, why is it important for you to identify as Trinidadian? That within that already has a bias, that you already have made up your mind that you need to ask me, why is it important? Because, well, you don't look it, so why would it be necessary? We already have a lot of things embedded in us, and I'm not even sure where it came from.
Danielle, congrats on the documentary. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
But You're Not Black will screen as part of this year's Real Asian Film Festival, which will run in a new virtual format, by the way.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.